So the question is, what do KIS prioritize here? Like, I'm just going through all the things they played last game, and basically XTeam took all of the heroes that I would say KIS could prioritize in this map, except for maybe Falstad, which I would expect to see picked for ban because Global is wonderful on this map.
I really want them to deviate this strategy too. I don't think they should go for another Tassadar comp, really. I don't think it worked out for them at all. The coordination just wasn't there, the healing wasn't there, the cleanse really bite them in the butt, so they should definitely go for a more traditional approach here and maybe ban Tassadar to prevent them from the enemy team at least, but I don't think they should prioritize it themselves anymore.
Yeah, we have 3 supports in that last game and none of them have cleanse. Just want to point that out there. In that last game, Zarya as the target ban here, so they still want to lead themselves into a Tassadar potentially, but this time XTeam, seeing as they know they won't get the other one, they're instead just going to ban out the TAS. They want to deny that entire thing, but this means priority for the first pick goes to KIS, and they of course want those globals. They picked Dahaka, that strong top laner.
Now, are we going to see a fall set as an immediate response? Oftentimes teams like to do that, so you have at least one person to constantly keep up with that. Dahaka soak and split push remains to be seen for now, but I already like the KIS draft a lot more. They basically took some of the strengths the enemies had in Game 1 and made it their own. The Zarya also was a dominant factor from XTeam. They don't want to be dealing with that anymore, and it makes sense because Zarya, she's just such a menace, and she can also dominate those early game engagements very, very nicely by constantly walking near to those towers on Dragonshire and filling up her own energy meter. Now, we see the Falstead and a Malfurion, a super neutral, a super standard draft here so far from XTeam.
Yeah, so far we've had the 2 highest priority heroes most of the time in terms of Chinese banning banned out, and on the picks we're already moving into standard stuff. 2 globals have been picked and the strongest support currently in the game. So overall, looks good. The question is, I think we could probably see an ETC if it's not banned out this time, with his new armor increases. We're combining it with Malfurion, for example, gives you a great knockdown combo.
Absolutely. You mentioned the changes from ETC panning out very interestingly for many players these days. We saw him played yesterday by Fnatic. Breeze still loves his beefcake. It remains to be seen if he's ever going to be as popular as he used to be, but I think the armor changes can actually make him a quite resilient force to be reckoned with here. Now, on Dragonshire, he could be a nice pair-off with Dahaka for sure, a nice crowd control synergy, but guess what, Murden basically fulfills that same role and is a little bit more mobile. And we see my favorite Witch Doctor. Very, very happy about that.
Coming in. Great poke potential, great single target damage. If you can land those spiders onto one hero, it's devastating. Malfurion will be able to keep up with the healing, but only on one person. That's basically all of Malfurion's healing used just to deal with spiders, while everyone else is just kind of murdered. Banface coming in, XTeam. Support ban would make some sense if there's one they don't really want to deal with due to the fact that KIS already has 2 tanks and one of their single damage dealers.
Yeah, let's see. Morales once again out of the game. They still needed a support KIS, that is. But I'm not sure if at this point you just want to ban supports because you think the enemies are going to run out of supports, because that's not going to happen. Lucio's still available, Karazim, Rhaegar. There are so many good supports in the current roster. I think it's just a personal preference here. I don't think XTeam really wants to play against the Morales. They banned it twice in a row. I think it's really just a question of how comfortable do we as a team feel playing against that, and do we want to risk losing to it? And I think XTeam so far answers that question with no. So I actually like that, when you just take something away that you don't want to play against to really guarantee your own playstyle and your own well-being on the map.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. We also see the Zeratul banned out, just incredibly solid, set up for Twilight Dream. Even set up for Hinterland Blast, which we saw a little bit yesterday. It was very fun.
Something that I actually recommend doing in Hero League all the time. Like, whenever I play with a VP combo and we have a false in our team, I'm always telling them, please do take Hinterland Blast, because the potential of messing up that wombo combo with a premature Mighty Gust is just too risky, and you don't want to take that.
I disagree with that one, but that's good. It's good to have differing opinions, because I personally way prefer the combo of VPing only part of the team and gusting the other part.
Okay.
That I prefer to.
If you do have that level of coordination in Hero League, then I agree with you.
Yeah. But if not, then I also agree that the the VP into Hinterland combo is lovely. Very happy with that. So this is the joy of Hero League. You can have different opinions, and they can all be right. It is great. So Rhaegar coming in as the support for KIS, and Valera as their last pick.
Okay, so you pick Valera into a Malfurion who has scouting drones on a small battleground like Dragonshire, where you don't have that many ways to flank people and to maybe dodge those scouting drones. I'm not sure if I agree with that solution here. Also, keep in mind that you're fully relying on Nazeebo as your only ranged DPS. And Nazeebo needs a lot of time to get rolling. He needs that level 20 to reach his final form. Before that, he's going to deliver very slow damage over time. And I'm not sure if Valera can compensate for that.
Yeah, that's strange. I like it.
Very strange.
It's strange. Like, they have some incredible burst potential.
That is true. That is true. If they get that lockdown with Muradin, Dehaka, Licky Sticky, and the stun from Valera, they could potentially burst someone down. I'm not sure if that's going to happen because of said scouting drones, because of that disengage that XTeam later has with a Twilight Dream, with a Mighty Gust.
Dropping Gary could be a little bit extra as well if they can time that correctly. Could be good because it has to be Gary. Let's count the interrupts for Ravenous Spirit. Oh wait, it's all of them, like every game.
Yeah, Gary the Gargantuan, man. He's going to be a big factor here because they can need all the damage they can really need. Now, I remain very skeptical for KIS's lineup here. I don't like the Valera. I think there would have been many other options to provide a more secure and reliable playstyle. If you don't get that flank with Valera, if you don't get her stealth initiation, I think she's probably one of the most useless heroes in the game, and I don't think XTeam is going to make that mistake of not having at least one scouting drone ready before every single team fight starts. You always want to make sure to have one ready so you can plant it near your teammates and single-handedly shut down Valera.
Yeah, should be good. Remember though, Valera does have a short unrevealable time, which can work if you can time it well. It can nullify scouting drone, but it requires some crazy knowledge of one, where the scouting drone is, and two, just some insane timing to be able to get the maximum value out of that. It can be really good.
It can be good, but the question is it going to be good? Now, also, what build are we going to see? Valera in competitive hasn't been played for a long time, so are we still going to see that assassination build, where she basically teleports to an isolated target and unleashes a whole lot of burst damage within quick succession? Or has the build actually shifted and we see a little bit of a different approach? That alone is going to make this game number 2 between KIS and XTeam so interesting to watch.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, just because they picked Valera, I quite hope that KIS lose this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let us introduce KIS here. They are on the left-hand side. They need to win 3 games in a row to be able to take a victory here. It is going to be Rhaegar, Muradin, Nazeebo, Valera, and Dehaka.
Now, let's compare Valera to her most equal counterpart, Zeratul, in terms of stealthing and initiating team fights. Now, what Zeratul really brings to the table is that VP, that single-handedly can make team fights, or can make your team win team fights, or at least just disengage. Whoa, that was close. GD, my friend.
That would have been so cool. That would have been next level catching. Instead, we see a big route straight away. Muradin with the Dwarf Toss, barely able to survive. The overcome from Tychus very nearly finishing him off. And a lot of action in the first couple seconds of this game, but neither team able to guarantee a kill.
But yeah, Tetra, do you think that Valera is a worthy Zeratul replacement? Because we saw them banning it out, actually. Do you think that Valera can do the things that Zeratul does so well?
Yeah, she's better at single target isolation, whereas Zeratul is better at team fight initiation. That is how I look at it. Valera has insane burst. She has a little bit of lockdown. She has unrevealable frames. She is overall very good and efficient at what Zeratul can do. The thing is, Zeratul has Void Prism.
Yes.
And that's basically the end of the argument.
I like the way you put it. You can't argue with that, though. You definitely can't. Now, we see scouting drones coming in from Tau on the Malfurion, and he's always going to make sure to drop one in his immediate vicinity because he doesn't want to get engaged on by Miracle on that Valera. Now, we see that the first initiation so far wasn't really that successful. Kite getting taken a lot of damage here against GD and Kid on ETC. And keep in mind that ETC as well, if he lands that good preemptive power slide in against Valera because she is visible with that Shimmer after all. He can really shut down that engage, but I don't want to hate too much on that Valera. It all remains to be seen later on and how well they can make use of it. For now, though, KIS is turning on the heat here, and they're taking out Malfurion.
Absolutely beautiful, but the immediate counter kill coming in here.
Oh, here she comes, Miracle.
Grabbing the kill, but yeah, Miracle coming in, drops in the follow-up Valera stun, and they're able to get the kill, but the Dragon Knight snuck away by Kid in the mid lane. So it's 2 kills to 1, but XTeam picking up the Dragon Knight to grab some structures and even up that XP count. And actually, they're going to attempt to get this as a lead. Muradin gets punted. He is too far away from the enemy base, though, to actually get punted into it, which can happen. It is hilarious.
It is quite the good trade nonetheless for XTeam. They did lose 2 team members, at least they got 1 in return, and they secured themselves the first Dragon Head. Now we see a good rotation coming in from Soap here, and I think that is a dead Fire Lord. You can't escape the grasp of those 2 warriors, my friend. Once again, Soap showing that Dahaka is just such a powerful hero, but guess what? The rotation's so good from GD.
Now what, Soap? Soap is attempting to find an escape route. He's attempting to get through the lane. Tiger's chasing him down. Root from Malfurion from below. They're going to go all in on him. Going to try and punish him here, and they will finish him off. So it's a 2 kills for 1 in favor of XTeam there. Dragon Knight was able to get a couple structures. Only towers, really, in the mid lane. Wasn't able to get anything in the top lane. Valera silence to get some of that damage output. As you can see, that little shield next to ETC's name, as he has that armor attached to his trait now.
Every single time he uses one of his abilities, he's going to get a little bit more resilient. Now, something that I just saw from Miracle on Valera, and something that we can maybe give out as a little bit piece of advice for all the Valera players out there, or new potential Valera players, you can use your Shadow Strike Q to basically cover a little bit of distance and dash towards your enemies, and then immediately vanish and initiate. And that is oftentimes really nice to surprise enemies who don't expect that amount of mobility from a Valera. So really, really nice way to engage those teamfights, rather than just vanishing and then using the Shadow Strike after.
Stunned by Valera once again. She's opening with stuns a lot more than ambushes, because right now she doesn't have any ambush talents, so the damage build might not be as much value. So the stun allows you to lock down and have a better chance of picking people off. We actually saw, you were talking about nice engagements, we saw the opposite of that just a couple seconds ago, of Tychus throwing his grenade and as such knocking the Zebo out of ETC's power slide range. So a little bit of anti-synergy there, but still cool to see. Ragnaros, by the way, he's gone for a Q build, but he has the slow on his E. Not going to help him here. He is once again in a very familiar situation of Dahaka and Muradin. His
gets reinforced though.
Volstad, though, the turnaround can Rag sustain through ETC from the wall, and Rag escapes. They pick off Muradin. Beautiful play. The delay by allowing his team to rotate up.
Yeah, that was a very nice bait here for sure. They killed him once, Dahaka and Muradin, that is, and they thought they could have another bite from the Fire Lord, but this time they were prepared, sending reinforcements up top immediately, and that was really, really well done by XTeam.
Yeah, beautiful play here. We see Dahaka. He is going to retreat this time without Muradin. He's on his own. He needs to build that essence back up. And Zebo, by the way, he has taken one of his voodoo talents as opposed to the Corpse Spider's sustain here. He feels this game is probably going to the late game, and he's not wrong. I would agree with that, due to Ragnaros going to be able to delay this game a very long time. Nazebo and Dahaka going to be able to grab KIS a lot of XP, and that should delay this game until the late game in theory.
The armor coming in handily here for Kid, though, keeping him alive for a long period of time now. He is in trouble, needs to power slide out of harm's way, but Ratatatat is coming in for the rescue.
ETC had Crowd Surfer. He could have just gone over the wall there. He actually kept himself in danger so that he could return to his team if they were able to catch someone out and get a turnaround. Valera was looking for Falstad there, instead not able to grab anyone in ETC, able to reveal her.
Looks like we're still seeing that ambush build from Valera, by the way, so nothing has changed. Pro players still stick to that Q build, and I do like it, especially after level 13 when she gets that teleport initiation. She can be quite the threat that people need to be aware of. For now, though, immediate cleanse rescue here on Nazebo. Nicely done by KIS.
Yeah, they're doing a really good job here. Zombie Wall actually zoning ETC away from the fight so that they can isolate Tychus here. But Fury coming in for the body block. ETC from over the wall with the Crowd Surfer. Beautiful play here. Now they're moving on to Muradin. Dwarf Toss over the wall. The gust misses. Great Dwarf Toss by Muradin.
Yeah, keep in mind that we don't have Mosh Pit in this game. Instead, XTeam relies more on global mobility and split soaking, split pushing capabilities. Now Ratatatat gets licked, gets taken out here by Dahaka and the Ford, but guess what? He paid his price, but also made sure that Dahaka was distracted. Couldn't really take that top shrine, excuse me. So another Dragon Knight in favor of XTeam. Now, let's also talk about this big voodoo. Never mind, let's do that after the team fight.
Stage dive coming in, Tychus dashing through. He does have armor in his Odin. The Dragon Knight punching Valera away, and therefore keeping Tychus alive, barely saving him. Damage being dropped, Tychus kiting backwards beautifully. The Dragon Knight assisting as well, and it's a 4 versus 5. But XTeam able to tank through this, and they now begin the push again. But Malfurion gets pulled in. Follow-up stun from Valera. The burst damage is good, but you see with the stun, keeping him alive, Valera is in that smoke bomb here. Moves on to Malfurion, wants to finish him off. The lightning shield and the ambush, able to grab the kill.
Takes Malfurion out here. A beautiful synergy as well with the Ancestor healing here, saving Miracle while he was still invisible and unrevealable from his smoke bomb. Now Soap a little bit in trouble. Dahaka is not the fastest hero. I'm not sure if he's going to make it out alive here. Gets stunned and taken out. Beautiful team fight nonetheless for XTeam. Despite losing Malfurion, they're still getting a lot of value because the Dragon Knight was able to push during all of this. Now, Tetris, something I wanted to talk about real quick. We saw that big voodoo from Nazeebo in Europe as well. Nurek in particular from Team Liquid now. He's a big fan of that talent because it really sets you up for this beautiful late game when you have an absurd amount of mana and health. You almost become a third warrior if you successfully make it to level 20.
Whoa! Valera outplayed. Sulfurous Smash and the Meteor able to grab the kill. Here comes Stage Dive though, once again turning around the gang onto Rag. Falstad here too. They focus down Rhaegar instantly. Rag tank it through and gets some sustain off of Muradin. Dahaka, he's going to try and be bad move, gets gusted. Muradin getting dived here. We actually need to see having to retreat. And now Falstad working down Dahaka, but Dahaka a great damage output. Able to at least trade out a little bit of damage onto Falstad there. I don't know why he tried to run there. I would have definitely preferred him to auto-attack a couple times because there was no way he was getting out.
Okay, so at some point, KIS needs to reconsider their Ragnaros ganks, because it worked once, true, but every single time they tried it after that, it turned out a massacre against them, basically. XTeam really on point with stage diving, ETC, making Falstad fly in as well, and that was a beautiful rescue mission here, once again, for the red team, and I don't think they should really try this again unless they are sure that there is no one left to really help Ragnaros out here. But also strong self-sustain because of that Q build. We mentioned it time and time again. Ragnaros is such a beast despite the nerfs that he received.
Yeah, the global counter ganks very effective. Parasite just coming up short there, very nearly grabbing Muradin. He was able to dwarf toss it away. Right now, a lot of heroics on cooldown for KIS, so right now they're just delaying by grabbing some Bruiser Camp, and they're going to want to try and raid top as quickly as possible, because right now, Bot being taken by Malfurion, top already under control of Falstad. He does have Gust. We're seeing Rag in the mid, and too late, it's gone. Here comes ZTC. They want to try and counter gank Gust.
Nice.
Here, and they're going to get everyone out there. The stage dive may not have even been necessary there, but either way, they get the Dragon Knight and everyone lives. And
this buys XTeam so much time because they kept almost the entire team from KIS busy in top lane with that Gust disengage and that ETC saving mission as well here. Now, Ratatatat in that Dragon Knight going strong in the middle. Took a lot of damage in the process though. We're still relatively early into this game, so even if you end up getting a Dragon Knight, it's probably not going to do too much, but getting that middle fort is a nice thing to start with after all. Still, now they're grouping up as 4. They maybe want to get another fort done here in that top lane. I think they should wait for a minion wave though, because the Dragon Knight can't really take too many hits anymore.
Potentially indeed. It's very low, less than 25% health right now, with still 50 seconds remaining, so they're burning down a lot of that duration. Down goes Dahaka, even with adaptation active, not able to survive that. ETC does get stunned up, but Valera damage output nowhere near enough to take down ETC. Instead, she moves on to the Dragon Knight to try and burst that down. Good dash, dodging ETC's power slide.
And you can really see that KIS is kind of lacking damage to really deal with those Dragon Knights. The Molten Core now coming in here as well to provide further pressure. But I don't think they have what it takes to really deep-push a Dragon Knight right now. Nazeebo needs a little bit longer until he really reaches his final potential. But do you think that this was a mistake, going so tank-heavy plus the Valera plus the Nazeebo? Or do you think they are just going to be fine in the later stages of the game?
Well, they need to get to the late stage of the game.
They need to get there in the first place, yeah.
That Dragon, that Nazebo is going to drop an insane amount of damage. If they could get to 20, they have 6 levels, almost 5, but 6 levels to go before they can get to that point where Nazebo is going to be able to just deal with the Dragon Knight by chucking spiders on it and walking away. Wow, Tigers is not dead. That gust to survive. Ice block used by Nazebo. He's in full retreat.
My goodness.
ETC able to catch him out. But here comes Rag from below to try and get them some more kills. He doesn't have Sulfurous, as it was used a bit earlier. We're seeing Dahaka. He tunneled in to help and is instead becoming a sacrifice. Ancestral not landing. And now we're seeing the 5-man push versus 3 heroes because 2 kills already down for XTeam.
You could really see how Teacher Age on that Tychus just didn't seem to care. He dashed in aggressively, which is something you normally have to be very careful about. He got stunned by Muradin and zombie walled in as well. But guess what? When you have a buddy called Falstad who can gust everyone and everything away from you, you're going to be just fine. And that's exactly what happened here. XTeam playing that so calmly and so cool. And I really don't see a way for KIS to defend this with Mercenaries. Double Mercenaries now pushing it into that bottom. The Molten Core could be ready here as well. So XTeam here in full momentum.
ETC power slide again. We're trying to see if we could catch someone out, but there was no one there. Falstad even spending some time to clear the top lane. It's the 4-man push in the bot lane. Muradin is on his way down to try and help his team here, but that keep is currently being sieged. Good use of the zombie wall to delay this at least a little bit. Gargantuan as well, tanking the shots from the siege giant, and that will save their keep.
That was important.
Nice played by HD there. Muradin from below. They want to try and grab Malfurion here, but here's the Molten Core, and this counter-engage is over.
Exactly, single-handedly shut down by the raid boss. That is Ragnaros here, keeping everyone at a safe distance here. So, oh my god, he predicted that, GD, that is. He definitely knew that Falstad was lingering in the shadows and preemptively used the barrel roll here. Insane prediction skills by XTeam, but another teamfight is going to break out in the middle here.
Dahaka using his burrow. He has tunneling claws now. ETC beginning the channel on the DK. He's finally interrupted. Muradin was just tanking through all that. Now we're seeing Rhaegar attempting to get a good position to get the healing. Valera already has taken some damage. The zombie wall was good onto Ragnaros. ETC's taken it again. Someone needs to interrupt. The Zemo's too far away. Dragon Knight going over to XTeam again. Another one. Dahaka's gone. And anti-synergy. We see jump over. Rhaegar punted straight to the bottom.
That's actually okay though. Yeah, the punt was good. He basically isolated Pommy here, so he would get another good kill done here. That was actually some sick punting skills here from KIS. Someone hire him for the major league here. Really, really well done indeed. Now, Kid on the charge, in the Dragon Knight, in the driver's seat. They're gonna definitely take down that keep for sure. Now let's see what's gonna happen other than that.
We're seeing Falstad chasing down this hero. Valera is on the run. Valera, she's very hard to kill. Muradin is just being distracted here while the DK moves onto the core. Shield is down, but the DK will be too. But Odin is up. Rag is up. Muradin in full retreat. It's going to be XTeam on the core. With everyone except Rhaegar alive, they're going to try and end the game here. They have huge damage output, and it is going to be GG. XTeam taking game number 2.
Yeah, I'm not sure if KIS really wanted to lose that game so early because Nazebo was nowhere near reaching that level 20. And as you said, Tetcher, if you pick heroes like Nazebo, if you go for that late game comp playstyle, you first of all need to get there. And I'm not sure if Valera was the right call to make here because she thrives in those early game gank situations, but if you have a lack of damage in your team because of Nazebo, you're not going to get those kills in the first place. So I think there was a little bit of a collision of playstyles in their team comp. They wanted to make too many things work at the same time. XTeam, though, they once again showed us how to play the game. They made their comp work just flawlessly, especially Ratatat on that Ragnaros really put on a clinic and delivered so much damage. But overall, just great synergy with those counter engages as well in particular. ETC stage dive, false set flight, always on point.